Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to Organizing an ADHD Brain, the podcast for anyone who's ready to ditch the shame and get organized in a way that actually works with their brain. I'm Megs, a professional organizing coach, organizing an ADHD brain owner, and recovering clutter human. While I work primarily with women, this space is for anyone who wants practical tools, mindset shifts, and a new way to look at time, stuff, and self-worth. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, scattered, or stuck in a cycle of starting and stopping, you're not alone. And you're in the right place. Let's build a life that feels calm, doable, and aligned, one mindful move at a time. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for your patience. I know I didn't drop my normal show on Monday this week. Regardless, I'm so excited to share with you another interview that I had with Russ from the ADHD Big Brother. I interviewed him last September. He's so comical, so hilarious. And today we're talking a little bit about community. In other news, in life update news, we are officially moving across the country. We are under contract on our house. We're selling it. And I know a lot of you are like, please keep your house, don't sell it, right? Like investment, all that stuff. But ultimately, we know we want to move and we're just not ready to rent our house out. It's not something that is in the cards for us. And so we're going to figure out how to use our money in other ways and figure out how to make money in other ways. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So our plan is to leave Colorado because that's where we are right now around July. And we'll make our way back to Massachusetts is where we're planning to land. That's where I grew up. And I'm really excited. We did the estimate of what it would be to move all of our stuff back east. And it was over $6,000. Actually, if we didn't get rid of a darn thing, it would have been over $10,000, almost $11,000. That's a lot of money and not money that I necessarily want to spend on just moving stuff. So my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, what if we sold everything? And so that is what we're doing. It feels a little strange because oftentimes I talk to you about when you're working in a space and you're decluttering and you're organizing, part of it is envisioning what does it look like at the end? What's that end result for you? And then you get to decide what tiny actions you can take to start to build that end result. And that's part of it, right? And part of it is regulation and taking care of yourself, all this other stuff. Now we're looking at our stuff and we're just like, oh, how do we just let go of everything? So it's a little bit at a time. What I'm going to do coming up here soon in my community is take a video of my house and where I have everything so you can see how I have it set up right now. And then what's really cool is as we build our home back east, we're going to start to be just really super intentional about what we buy for our house back there. At some points, I aspire to be a minimalist. I was talking to Dana K. White about this, and she actually brought this up, how sometimes that's too much. It's like starting a diet and you want to be a bodybuilder right away, but you're like 200 pounds overweight. So there's some other things that need to happen first. It's so similar in decluttering and organizing that yeah, that could be an aspiration one day, but understanding that take it back a few layers, take it back a few steps, quite a few steps, because ultimately to get to that point takes work and it really takes time. One of my clients, and he's listening, he shared this example about how when you're growing asparagus, you can't just plant asparagus and get amazing asparagus in the first year. It actually has to, I don't know if this is the right word, germinate, or it has to process. It has to have time to really start to thrive. You can't really eat asparagus that you're growing yourself until 3 to 4 years in. It takes some time. I thought that was fascinating, but it's so similar to organizing. You're not growing asparagus, but you're building habits and you're changing the way that you've been your entire life. That takes time. Whether you're working with a coach or you're doing it on your own, change takes time. It takes believing in yourself. It takes understanding that you don't want to live this way anymore, which takes you out of your comfort zone and puts you in a zone to grow into a new and different person. So anyways, we're letting go of everything and I'm really excited about it. One of the things I'm going to be doing in the community this month is doing a presentation on Facebook Marketplace. I don't talk about this too often on the podcast, but I'm a Facebook Marketplace queen. Like down to what you're listing, what to list it for, how to speak to people, what to say to people, and to ensure that you're not going to get scammed. That's really important too. But I'm going to give a presentation on that. But stay tuned. I am really excited to share with you all of these other eventful happenings that are going on in our life and trying to figure out what's next. Now, we are going to be traveling back east, not with our stuff, but we do have 2 kids and 4 animals. So it'll be a journey and an exciting adventure. On that note, I'm really excited to welcome Russ back to the community. He has his own community, the ADHD Big Brother. I've been there a couple times hosting decluttering sessions, body doubling sessions, and supporting people through what it's like to get organized with an ADHD brain. But what he does in his community, he takes it to a totally different level. They're not just focusing on organizing, although that's what they did this month in their community. But he is also talking about how to get the stuff done, like the dishes or the laundry and things like that. So I'm really excited to share this conversation with you today. On that note, let's jump in. I'm so excited to be interviewing you for the podcast again, because I think you're the first re-guest, second guest, like person coming for a second time. I know, right? I've had intentions to have people back. It was so cool because when I interviewed you the first time, it was so easy. It was so fun. And then we just became friends after that. Now we're friends, and this is just what we're going to do now.
Done and done. Makes it easy. Makes life really easy. Okay, now we're besties. And now let's do another interview.
Now let's do it. So I want to tell you guys, if you haven't heard our first interview, Russ is one of my favorite ADHD humans. So he has a podcast called ADHD Big Brother. He talks about brain spaghetti and talks about depression in ADHD and how real it is, but then also just like the real things that come along with ADHD. And he also has this incredible community called the ADHD Big Brother, same as the podcast, where he helps people with ADHD get shit done. And so there's group coaching, there's like body doubling rooms, there's all kinds of themed months. It's so freaking cool. And then Russ, you're also a coach. So you do a little bit of everything and you're so fun. I'm always talking about you. I'm like, do you guys know Russ? He's my friend. And I just love that you're here again. So welcome. Is there anything that I missed?
No, I'm like, I want to meet that guy. I'm like, he sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
That was a really nice introduction. I appreciate that.
Heck yeah.
By the way, we talk about you all the time too. People are always, the decluttering sessions that you've done in our community and the workshops and stuff are phenomenal. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been what I love about your community. And so to fill you guys in, I come into Russ's community and I'll host full body doubling declutter sessions. And if you're not familiar with body doubling, I'll give you my example. And I'd love to ask you too what your opinion is. But it's just this proven technique to support people, especially with ADHD, to get through doing the stuff. So if you show up and you say you're going to do something, there's something about it that helps you get the stuff done, even without someone twisting your arm or telling you that you have to do it. So we do these full decluttering sessions where we talk through letting go. We pick a space. Even I'm decluttering at the same time. And we're just talking through it. I've met some incredible people in your community. They're so cool. I really like them. Like, it's just so fun to see what all the ADHD people are doing. But tell me about body doubling in your opinion.
Yeah, I'll just say, it is a great collective of people in there. And those body doubling sessions have been awesome. I was late to the body doubling game. So I'll have to shout out Rivka, because Rivka has been a community member for, I think, over a year now. After a while being in the community, she brought up, have you ever heard of creating a body double room that we could do that's always open? She had been a member of another community that did that. And she said there was a lot of benefit to it. And I was like, that's really not for me. I was so not into body doubling. And I want to speak to this a little bit too, because about the idea that we as ADHDers, we will poo-poo things because we can't see them working for us because, we know us. I know me, that won't work for me. And so I was like, okay, but it's a paid community. So if you're customer, I guess, right? If you're community members, this would be a great thing to have. You're like, absolutely, let's go. I'll put it up. I probably won't use it because it's not for me, but I'll make one. And it is probably one of the favorite things in the community. I'm in there every day. Oh, to explain the body doubling, I guess was the original question though, was the phrase that I always come to is, I got it off of a research paper one time, that hills are never as steep when you walk them with a friend. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful way to look at this.
Yeah.
And so we as ADHDers have a real hard time initiating tasks that suck, that are stupid, for lack of a better word. They're dumb, but they're important. We are wired for interest, and so it's a real hard slog. So go to these virtual rooms. Obviously, if it was in person, it would probably be even easier to get done because you're both physically there and you're like, well, we said we're going to work on this thing. So I guess, and you're working side by side. Doesn't have to be the same thing. It's two people spending time in the same time working on something. And just the fact that there's another body there, there's a psychological term for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's for all of us lay people. It's just try it. You know how you go to the gym and it's easier to do the workout when there's a personal trainer?
Yeah.
Like you pay for people. You're a nutritionist, an organization expert. Seriously, it's easier. Like those declutter sessions, right? There's so many things that I would never do. But having somebody there and just shooting the shit and talking while it's happening is super helpful. Here's a great example is, so we did a declutter session on our own a while ago. And I think it was just me and Stephanie, one of our community members. And while we were decluttering, she was doing something in her kitchen, I think, maybe it was underneath the sink or something. And I was doing my spice rack and that cupboard. I was talking about this so much, but the emotional drain of seeing that I bought like a lot of garlic powder brings up all these triggers of, oh my God, am I having dementia? Am I going to be like my grandma? And am I losing my mind? If I was doing that work by myself, I would have sunk, it would have depressed me, and I would have stopped. But I had Stephanie there on camera. We're both cleaning and going, oh my God, I'm the guy that gets 8 garlic powders. And it was less of a blow. So it can really help lighten the load, difficult tasks. Does that talk about body doubling enough? I went when you clone yourself.
Speaking of cloning, I saw this trick the other day of, have you seen, so you're not on social media, but there's like this meme going around that's, okay, give me your unhinged ADHD hacks. And what would you do to get things done? And someone put in the comments like, I have an alter ego and I've named it. And that's the ego, or that's the person that does all the shitty stuff. That's the person that does all the stuff that I don't want to do. I was talking to one of my clients about it the other day. We were like, what would Frank do? Because he sounds boring. What would Frank do? And if your name is Frank, and if you're listening to, I'm sure you're not boring. But this particular Frank.
All Franks are boring. I'm almost 100% positive. No.
Okay, that's good to know.
Get ready for your emails, Negs.
And I don't like your podcast.
Yeah, 1-star review.
So body doubling has been incredible. I did a body doubling session in my community the other day. I fixed my sliding glass door, my back door. So for an entire year, I have been trying to push it. And then like I have to struggle to get it to lock, to actually get the full door to lock. Guess how many minutes it took me to fix?
How many you thought it was going to take? Probably 5 hours.
I thought I was going to have to hire someone. For sure, something's wrong with this door to the point that it's warped, right? It literally took me watching a YouTube video while I was in the body doubling session and then getting a screwdriver. And I literally had to hold it up, screw it a couple times, and then it works perfectly. And my husband got home and I was like, I am a champion and I cannot wait to tell you how much of a champion I am. But it's things like that. I wouldn't have taken the time to do it because I figured out a way to work with it. And it's like clutter. It's all the stuff we don't want to do. It comes back to people saying, oh my gosh, that thing that I've been putting off for a year, it only took me 5 minutes to do. Yeah. But just knowing that isn't enough to get it done. It's not enough to get all the things done because, yeah, you've got all of those little micro tasks all over the place. There's so many things that need to get done.
Totally.
So tell us a little bit more about what you do in your community.
After this recording, I'll be in the body double room in my community. We have an audio on one for decluttering. Cool. But then we also have audio off one, which is like, now I got to get my shit done. So you type in the chat, I'm doing this. In the community, in general, I think you got to go back to like why I built the community.
Yeah, let me ask you that. Why did you build this community?
Is it like a David Letterman question? Really interesting. What's the origin story of this? What do you call it? A community?
Community?
Yeah, group of people. In the coaching world, it's my answer to appointment amnesia, really. Coaching is great, So for people that can afford one-on-one coaching, it's great. It's awesome. You get really one-on-one direct attention. You get a thought partner and all that stuff. You don't get a guarantee that you're going to do any of the work. Not to toot my own horn. My sessions with people are very motivating. I get juiced up by it, and they get juiced up so that by the time we leave, there's a commitment. And on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to do this and that next thing. And it takes a while for people to get on the other end of ADHD got me again. ADHD got me again. And you're like, okay, great. We got to get over that hurdle. Community is the answer for that forgetfulness that we have, for that feeling of like isolation, of worthlessness that we have, of I can't do anything. I'm a loser. And it attacks in a shame-free way the remedial, the easy, all those things that we know that we can do on our own, but that we're not. I built the community based on, it was also on an addiction quick group that I was a part of years ago.
Really?
Getting over nicotine. Yeah. Where you just post every day. Nicotine, it was like, no matter what, one day at a time, right? No matter what, I'm not going to chew today. Come hell or high water, I'm not chewing. And then you go in and you just are like, I'm mad. Everybody's an asshole. Maybe I'm the asshole. So it was like together, we are all going through this painful process and quitting. And I wanted that for ADHD and for getting shit done. So how can we, no matter what happens, what are we going to commit to achieving today? And knowing that we're posting that to a group of fellow ADHDers, shame-free. You can say, I'm going to fold 2 pieces of articles of clothing today. Yeah. And that's it. And we gamify it with day streaks. And if you get to 100 days, you're a Skull Spaghetti master. And we have people in our community. Stephanie, shout out to Stephanie, who's over a year in a row of doing every day, like 400 days in a row of doing the thing that she said she was going to do. Wow. Some days it's 5 things. I'm going to do these. And some days it's like, I got nothing in the tank. I'm going to read in my hammock today. That's what I'm going to do. We can do this stuff. Like my mentor, Dana Rayburn, her catchphrase, it's not a catchphrase. It's that we can do hard things. Yeah. And we make things hard that we know are easy. So what is our ADHD way of doing what we perceive the normies doing super easy? Yeah. And I think it is imperative, especially at first when we're trying to manage our ADHD, that we do it in a community or we do it together. Yeah. And I think the proof is in the pudding on that. Like the proof is in the community. People that show up are doing shit. And here's another case in point. The whole point of it all, right, is to show up and publicly fail at the thing that we say we're going to do and know that I'm not going to be judged. I said I was going to do the dishes. I didn't do the dishes. I feel like a piece of shit. Am I a piece of shit? No, you're not. What got in the way? And it's like this group coaching of people saying, this is what I do. This is what you might think about doing. And it's people showing back up and saying, okay, going to do the dishes. Today's the day I'm going to do the dishes. Here's why I didn't do them yesterday. I totally forgot. Okay, how am I going to remember? It's literally ADHD coaching. Supremely low-priced ADHD coaching from multiple people. It's a no-brainer to me, but.
Oh, it's so cool. I just love what you're doing because right now you're in your group, you're doing a 30-day decluttering challenge for the month of April.
Oh, yeah. First, part of what makes the community awesome is ADHD people are super creative. Yeah. We are the best coming up with cool shit. One member brought in a 30-day decluttering challenge. So every day it's like somebody's process. I don't know whose process it is. It's a PDF that she shared and cool. It's every day is a thing. Yeah. So then you post and you're like, okay, today's day 5, I'm clearing out my car. And these are things I would never do. Yeah. I have deleted all the apps on my phone. I have 1 page of apps, by the way.
That's amazing.
That's a flex. I have 1 page, 0 games on my phone.
That's crazy.
0 social media on my phone. And another part of that is Jen is a member of our community who's brilliant at the graphics design work on this is brilliant. She created a game to help us with our doom scrolling. And so you get points for various things that you're doing that are anti doom scrolling. Cool. And I'm doing it for the points. I told my girlfriend, I was like, okay, I have Instagram I have Instagram on my phone just as a watcher
Hmm.
because like my girlfriend shares recipe things with me. Should we make this for dinner? I deleted it. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I need these points.
Yeah.
I'm in it to win the game. I get 750 points a day for this shit. I am
Wow.
sorry. We're going to have to communicate in another way about
Yeah,
recipes.
we have to find a different way to connect. And
Yeah.
I've been working on my own doom scrolling. I'm trying to figure out how to be off social media altogether.
Yeah.
I deleted Facebook,
Okay.
and now it's just like, how do I communicate or get the information that I want and need and connect with people in a way that's not on social media? And I've been
Right.
longing for this for a really long time. So I think having a game is so brilliant. Because I've tried a lot of different apps. I really want them to work, but it's also like
Oh,
that intention behind it and really wanting it. Because then, like, when I'm in a dysregulated state, I go straight for my phone and to decompress, to numb out. But that's not necessarily the healthy way I want to do it. So that's so freaking cool. When I first got diagnosed with ADHD, it wasn't until I started reading books about people who had ADHD and learning about their own lived experiences that I started to feel seen for the first time and started to feel understood in a way that I didn't have to prove myself and I didn't have to explain why I was late or why I couldn't remember people's birthdays or all of these different things. So
yeah.
getting in front of people with ADHD and knowing that they have the same brain as you just helps you feel like you don't have to prove yourself. You can show up, know that you have a lot of similar struggles so that you can get in front of it in a way that feels like you're not doing it alone. Because when you're doing it alone,
man,
it's
yeah.
isolating. It's so isolating.
Big time. And don't you like, I find this big time. I wasn't diagnosed until I was 40 and I'm
Yeah.
49 right now, but like in my 30s and stuff, everything about me was, I got to do this on my own. I'm a grown man and I could do it.
Right.
And so everything was about isolating and cocooning and going, okay, I'm going to just go away and I'm going to transform on my own. And then I'll emerge this butterfly and people will see me and I'll be like, look, I got my shit together. Look at me. And it's like a gnarled butterfly with a half broken wing. And you're like, oh shit, I got to go back in the cocoon. This is the thing that community helps us with. It gets us on the other
Totally.
end of, you don't have to do it by yourself. And it's often not possible to do it by ourselves.
Totally. I don't know if you could relate to this, but I have this thing where I have this amazing day where I've done everything. I've gotten so much done. And then I'm like, I've figured it out. Like I conquered my brain. I just need to do that day for all of the rest of the days. And then I don't recreate it. And then I'm struggling to recreate this perfect day that I had and I'm not doing it. And it's because that's the way that my brain works. And it's accepting that through understanding I'm going to show up differently every single day based on how I slept the night before, what's going on in my life, how my working memory is supporting me or not supporting me. There's so many things that go into it. But even just understanding, being reminded that it's not going to be perfect every single day. Like I used to, during COVID, or even not during COVID, whenever I would have my kids home and I was working in the corporate world, I would be like, it's fine. I can work. I can work totally fine. And they can also be home. And I can do all the things. I literally tried to do this so many times, even working, like building my business. I'm like, they'll be home. They'll be outside. Like, I'll feed them and it'll be perfect because they'll see mom working. And it's always hell. Every time I'm like, maybe if I go about it differently. So I'm saying this to say, I think it's so good to see other people struggling too with those same things so that we can remind each other, hey, what if you came up with something realistic? What if your kids were home and you did take some time out of your day to actually spend time with them? And so then when you're sitting them in front of the TV for 2 hours while you're trying to get stuff done, you feel fine about it because you guys just went and did a nature walk for 2 hours. So
Totally.
it's like just understanding that there's balance that you can create. It's just sometimes we try to do it all. But when everything is important, nothing is important and can all fall to the wayside. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes those perspectives are hard to have when you're by yourself. Like when you don't have anybody to bounce that off of and you think everybody else seems to be doing things perfectly well and fine and good. Why am I not doing everything perfectly well and fine and good all the time? And then by comparison, people say not to compare yourself to other people, but that is how societies work. That's like how we are. That's one of my biggest takeaways from some organizational psychology classes I was in was like, that's how people look around and go, how is everybody behaving in our society?
Yeah.
How might I behave? And then they go, oh, so we just do shit? Okay, so we do the dishes, we do laundry. These are responsibilities that we suck up and do. Why can't I do that? I guess I'm not a good member of our society, or we need to be around our own skull spaghetti people, our own brain people.
Yeah.
So that we can go, what's normal for us? And usually it's chaos, and it's like, I operate under high urgency. Then we as a group go, okay, we need to do these things that these normies are doing apparently really easy. What's our way to do that? Feeling like we're idiots about it.
Right.
I'm going to go on passionate tangents. And it's always going to come back to fucking laundry, Meg.
I work on decluttering and organizing. And some people are like, I really want to, like, how do you do your laundry? And I'm like, my husband does all of it. So I
delegate. You delegate.
He's a champion. And that's the job he's taken. So I don't have to do it. So I don't know. I highly recommend it. It's amazing. But the comparison thing, because I was thinking about that literally yesterday. So I love that you brought it up, because I do think that age-old phrase, comparison is the thief of joy. Yes, in some cases, right? It's the thief of joy when you are just starting a business and you look at someone who's had a business for 10 years and then you start to shame yourself because you're not where they are. Duh. Obviously, you're not where they are, because they have done so much more behind the scenes. It has taken them years to get to where they are now. But it is amazing to start to compare yourself to understand how other people operate and what you could do to get where you want to go. And to start to say, okay, if they did it this way, I wonder how I could make that fit into my life. Because I think when it comes to comparison, even just reading self-help books or understanding how to get stuff done, no matter what, it's never going to look the same for you. It's never going to be like, oh, I've followed these instructions perfectly and now it's working. No, I've followed these instructions the way I would see them working, and it either works or it doesn't. I think the comparison is, it is important to see what other people are doing, because that's how we learn. That's how we learn how to react to people. That's how we learn what's funny and what's not funny. It's how we learn what the societal norms are. It's natural to see what other people are doing and to say, okay, how do I fit in there? But with ADHD, it's different. And so you've got to understand that the way that you're going to operate in this world is going to be different. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. It's just about you got to find other people that are doing it your way too, because then it feels better.
I have this, my history comes, there's a lot of, I'm not good enough, and there's self-loathing that comes with that. And it's almost like that reticular activator thing, right? Where if I'm thinking a certain way, that thing where you're like, oh, I'm going to buy a Volkswagen Bug. And so then you just start seeing them everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like that, but for like proof that I'm a piece of garbage, right? That's self-loathing. I'm coming from a place of self-loathing. So I'm always looking for data. Not me personally. I'm not trying to look for it, but my brain will be like, oh, look at all these reasons why you're not like that person because they're better than you. You're not like that person. They're more successful than you. So you wanted a proof that you're no good. The brain is just doing its job. I'm like, oh God, brain, shut off.
But it's coming back to that manifestation thing, is like thoughts become things. What you think about, it stems from your beliefs. And if you genuinely believe that you can't do a certain thing, like what you said earlier too, you're like, that's not going to work for me. You've already decided I can't do things. I believe I can't do something like that. And so therefore I'm going to decide already that's never going to work for me. But because you already think this about yourself, you look for the evidence. But I think that's what's cool about working in ADHD groups, is that you then start to understand that you can do this. I did a podcast interview this morning, and she was like, what's one of the coolest things about the mindset shift that you see when you're coaching someone? And I'm like, oh, when they finally start to believe that they can actually do it. Oh, it's so cool. It's just like the seeing it inside themselves. And then there's regression, right? They go back and they're like, oh, maybe I can't, but yeah, I can, but maybe I can't. But yes, I absolutely can. It's like that internal battle of getting to this other side. But when you finally realize you can do it, you start to see the evidence more and more. Look for the butterflies. Have you ever heard of that phrase? I probably brought it up before, but when you are intentional about like looking for something specific, hey, tell me how many butterflies you see this week. Now you're going to be looking for the butterflies. Whereas in most of your life, you're just going to go along and maybe look for the assholes because you believe that most people are assholes, right? But intentionally looking for the good, look for the helpers, look for the people that are smiling. Like when you
Oh
put
my
your
God.
intentions into that, you're going to find that and you're going to see the evidence all around you. And it's beautiful. It's really
Ex-
neat.
You made me think of a challenge for the community. Let's bring this back to community. Yeah. So if there's a challenge, right? This is how my brain works. I turn everything into a game
Yeah.
and to be like, okay, what's the competition? The game is that you all agree on something positive that you're going to look at for the week. So then it's top of mind, daily accountability, right? And then you go, okay, so I'm going to look for what are my butterflies? The challenge would be looking for the butterflies or something like that, right?
Yeah,
So
totally.
you spend an entire week going, how many kind people can you get in touch with or can you meet? Or how many people can you get to smile in a week or something like that? And then you tally it. So you're always like, I got 3 more today. And now you're actually going after it, right?
Yeah.
Not because you're going after a smile, but because you're going after a number in a game that you're playing with somebody else.
That's a great idea. I love it.
Can I call it the Meg's Butterfly Challenge?
I would be honored.
I think people will eat that up in the community. The challenges are awesome. They're great.
And it's just about when you start to reframe things in the way that you want to see them. I'll give you an example of like real life. So we had this interview this morning and I had this great idea. I was like, what if we had a bunch of people watching our interview? Wouldn't that be so cool? And then we could field questions from the audience. I sent out one email to my community and was like, let's do this. Guess what? Nobody read that or saw it or did anything with it. And so
like,
initially,
not interested in that Russ guy. He curses too much, and I don't think he takes life serious.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's actually what people told me in their brain. Initially, I was coming into this meeting. I'm like, Russ is probably going to be so disappointed in me. Like I said, I had this great idea. You probably didn't even remember. But like I'm creating this story about what it was. But the truth of the matter, the facts of the matter is that I wanted to do this. I didn't have a plan. I executed one email. And we know that we need lots of reminders and lots of support and lots of things telling us when something's happening in order to make room for it. Yeah. Also, people are busy and therefore it didn't work out in the way that I originally wanted it to. So instead of shaming myself, I looked for what could I do differently next time? There's a whole bunch of things I could do differently next. And like ultimately, we're still having this really cool interview that people are going to listen to. And it's going to be awesome. And sorry you missed my one email, everyone. I think it's just about reframing the way that we see ourselves and being allowed to do that. It comes back from the way we saw ourselves our whole life. I know I've always been so used to putting myself down. And it wasn't until the last 5 years that I've really worked on building myself up instead.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Kick ass. I think a lot of these things too, in our business is trial and error.
Yeah.
We get great ideas all the time. We're like, this would be super awesome. Wouldn't it be fun? And then it's like crickets. And you're like, oh, historically, if this was me 10 years ago, because I've done this plenty. I'm not even saying this is about today's event.
Yeah.
I've done so many things where I'm the only one that showed up. And I'm by myself going, do I keep recording? I guess I'm just going to start talking about seaweed. But like you learn from those things.
Yeah.
And like at the core is something important.
Yeah.
So.
I have a friend of mine. She's like, it's just collecting data. You're just collecting data on the stuff you're doing. And that's really what it comes down to. So tell us more about like how people can join your community, what that looks like. Give us all the deets.
Oh, here's the deets. By joining by Jenny.
Oh yeah. Radio host. Absolutely.
Radio.
Pause for commercial.
Are you down in the dumps? Are you having trouble getting started? Well, why don't you look at ADHD Big Brother? It's a really easy process to join. You join, you get onboarded. There's a few videos because when you join a community, you want to know what's the culture, how does it work, what are the rituals, how do you even use the platform? And so you're on Circle now, right?
Yes.
So come on, let's go. Circle is the platform that we use. It's super awesome. And when you join, you go through the onboarding videos to tell you how to do it. And then at the end, I give you a checklist of a couple things to do. Post a win. It explains the spaces, right? And how you can get along. And then I do a free coaching call with everybody once they're done onboarding to get FaceTime. I want to meet you. I want to know who the hell you are.
Yeah.
I want to be there to be like, oh, if you're struggling, like this is my particular ADHD hurdle. I'll give you that coaching start to be like, try this space, try the where does it hurt space. We have spaces that are designed to be like, oh, you have trouble getting started? Here's all the webinars that we've done on that. Here's the posts. Here's some strategies. Here's where in the community you can take action on that. Like the organization, we have in the organization space, the Meg's declutter sessions, Meg's webinar. And then
you have a whole space in your community dedicated to me.
I should change the name to Meg's organization.
So cool. All of this stuff is cool.
My community is not built for, hey, let's just all talk about how hard life is and let's just be relatable to each other. That's intrinsic. That happens. You're going to get that. But it's like you can join a Facebook group. You can join free places all over the place to be like, hey, isn't this funny or isn't this hard? My community is made for the doing of the work. So the thing where you've done all the research, you're in therapy, you're going to an ADHD coach, but you're not doing the work. You're not doing the work of the book. You're not doing the work of your therapist. You're not doing the work of your ADHD coach. We have a platform built to make it as easy as possible to do the work, and we will help hold you accountable, which is glorious.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You even have a spot for accountability buddies, right?
Yes, this is what it's all about. We have an accountability buddy space where you can put on a Google Sheet your name, the kind of accountability you're looking for, and then another member will join. And then I call it a 30-day relationship, I think is good. And then I give you methodologies, questions to ask each other on your accountability sessions. And then we have a public meeting room that you can book out for free to have your Zoom meetings if you don't have it on your own.
Oh,
that way. And I like 30 days is good, right? Because if it's a shitty relationship and you're like, I don't like this person, then you're like, okay, that's fine.
Cool.
Your 30 days is up and move on or whatever.
Yeah.
The accountability is everything. External accountability. If I share with your audience one thing that I think is imperative in getting your shit together with ADHD, it's externalizing your accountability. If at first, get rid of the mentality that I got to be able to do this on my own. We all know you can do it on your own. I can do laundry on my own and the dishes on my own. But if I'm not doing it, then something is missing. Get with a buddy. This is literally the magical elixir of ADHD. That's everyone's missing. Oh no, I'm sure there's a book out there I can read. There's a book out there that's going to solve everything and everything's going to click. And then I'm going to be able to move forward. I love the body double room. I love knowing that I'm slogging through something and somebody else is getting their work done and I get to be a part of their success. There's something magical about that. So I'm giving up the idea that maybe I can do the laundry on my own.
But I do think that a lot of people aspire to try to do it on their own, and they think that they should have to do it on their own, and asking for help is a negative thing sometimes, but it's not. In fact, asking for help and removing the barriers, like I know when my husband helps me do something, like if he just does one step of it, I can do the rest so much easier. Even like my personal assistant, like when she does one thing, I'm able to do all the rest of it because she has removed a barrier for me. She has removed one of the steps from me having to accomplish it. And just being in a room full of people removes the step of actually getting yourself to the job. That's the barrier. You're down in it. Like you're facing the uncomfortable with everyone else, but you're uncomfortable together instead of having to do it on your own. So
that's awesome.
It's really freaking cool. I'm so pumped about your community. I think it's amazing. It's award-winning. And
yes, on engagement.
Heck yeah. That's so legit. And so if you're ready to join, I'm going to put everything in the show notes below so that you can come check out Russ and see what he has to offer, to see what you've been able to create and the people that are in the community. Like what an incredible space for people to go and get things done and to ask questions and to feel normal. It's just, it's really cool what you've done. And I'm really proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
If people don't know or they want to talk before about the community, you can put the Calendly link for a 30-minute call.
Oh, cool.
And I'll just shoot the shit with people. Everybody on the planet gets one free 30-minute call if they want to just talk. It doesn't have to be about coaching. I'll talk all day long about this community.
I love that. That's really cool that you offer that.
Thanks,
cool.
Max.
Thanks for being here, Russ. Wasn't that so awesome? I love the passion with which Russ talks about his community. He has been building it. And like, the people he's talking about, I know them. They're so cool. There's incredible humans in there. And it's just so fun to see all of these incredible ADHD brains out there thriving and figuring out how to do the stuff that is mundane, is not fun. So to join Russ's community, just go to the show notes below or go to ADHDBigBrother.com and you can join his community there. I know he also has a ton of really cool stuff, like free events if you're not ready to join yet, but you can see what it's all about so you can get an idea if this is the space for you. Also, I have a message for Janine, who left me a podcast review back on April 6th. You had me cracking up. So here's the review. I like listening to this podcast while cleaning and doing laundry. The information is helpful and not just for ADHD. The interviews and topics are excellent. That said, for the sake of all that is good in the world, please edit the volume so that the cutaways for the reviews are not screaming into my ears. Okay, fair enough. I had no idea. So thank you so much. I was laughing because the art with which you wrote that was beautiful. And I heard you loud and clear, even though you didn't actually say it out loud. And I immediately took it out because I didn't know how to edit for volume. So while I'm incredible at organizing, I'm still learning this whole podcast thing and all of the video editing and sound editing stuff. So thank you so much. If you guys have feedback, please share it with me. I am a solo woman over here doing my thing. I do have a business support manager who helps me with marketing, and I have a bookkeeper. But other than that, it's mostly me over here. So if you have feedback, let me know. And if it's positive feedback and you do want to share a review, please do. Otherwise, you can just email me or go get the dopamine menu and put your feedback in the request for the dopamine menu. That's easy too. Super quick announcement about the community. I am transitioning over to Circle, which is so ADHD friendly. That's where the ADHD Big Brother is housed. And it's just really awesome. I'm so excited to be moving my community over there. That said, if you decide to join my community before May 2nd, you will still get the community price of $27 a month. And actually, when we move the community over to Circle, you will get grandfathered into that price. So anyone in the community right now will just keep that price forever because why not? That's really cool. Then I am going to be launching the new Circle community on May 15th. So stay tuned for that. I'll be sharing a bunch of information on my email list. So when you sign up for the dopamine menu, just check subscribe and I'll just keep you in the loop. I try not to be annoying, but if it's not for you, just unsubscribe. Super easy. And right now for the month of May, I only have 2 coaching spots available. So if you're interested and you're ready to get started, just book a call in the show notes below. And I can't wait to talk to you. On that note, have an incredible week. And thank you again for your patience this week. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I love being a part of your journey, and I hope you found something helpful to take with you. If you're ready to get support in organizing your ADHD life, I'd love to invite you to join my community. It's a space built just for you. And if you're curious about coaching, let's chat. I encourage you to book a free call just to see if it's the right fit. You can get on my calendar directly from the show notes below, and we can have a chat. A quick reminder, I am not a doctor or a medical professional. Everything I share is based on my own experience as well as my coaching expertise. So please consult your doctor for any medical or ADHD related concerns. Until next time, keep going. Right where you are is a great place to start.